Hello, I'm Josh and today I'll be talking about development of personal fitness through training. Agility is something that allows a performer to move quicker and to be more agile. For example, in football, it allows a player to move from A to B quicker. For example, this is good so that the player can get around the pitch quicker so that they can be more effective. Balance is something that everyone needs as it allows them to keep standing. But in sports terms, balance is needed for athletes who want to be at the top level because they will need to be able to have good balance. For example, football players need good balance so that they can not get so that they don't get knocked off the ball and let the other team win the ball and then attack their goal. Body composition is important so that the athlete is aware of the level of fat on their body and so that they know whether it will affect their performance on the field. Body composition as well as weight determines leanness. Cardiovascular endurance. Cardiovascular endurance is the ability of the heart, lungs, blood vessels to deliver oxygen to your body tissues. The more efficiently your body delivers oxygen to its tissues, the lower your breathing rate is. Coordination is the ability to move two or more body parts under control smoothly and efficiently. Flexibility, the capacity of a joint or muscle to move through its full range of motion. Flexibility is specific to a particular movement or joints, and the degree of flexibility can vary around the body. Muscular endurance is the ability of a muscle or group of muscle to sustain repeated contractions against a resistance for an extended period of time. It is one of the components of muscle fitness along with muscle strength and power. Muscular strength, the amount of force a muscle can exert against a resistance. It helps sports people to hit, tackle and throw. Interval, periods of intense work interpreted with a timed rest. A wide variety of fitness types can be developed, structured in reps and sets. Intensity is measured by percentage max heart rate. Disadvantage, maximal nature of intervals can be too challenging for some participants. Description. Interval training is a type of training that involves a series of low to high intensity workouts. I can't even say that word, sorry. With rest or relief periods. The high intensity periods are typically at or close to an aerobic exercise, while the recovery period involve ability of lower intensity. Tempo/continuous training. A minimum of 20 minutes is a maximal work target heart rate range between 60 and 80% maximum heart rate. Swimming, running, cycling, walking, or a combination of these disciplines. Disadvantage, some participants find normal sessions to be boring. Description. Continuous training is a form of exercise that is performed at a continuous intensity throughout and does not involve any rest periods. Continuous training typically involves aerobic activities such as running, biking, swimming, and rowing. Circuit training. This develops muscular endurance, strength, and or cardiovascular fitness, an interval form of training. Stations are set up that train one or more components of fitness. The performer moves from one station to the next with exercise periods and rest periods. Circuits can be designed so that they are sport specific. Description. Circuit training is a form of body conditioning or endurance training or resistance training using high intensity aerobics. It targets strength building and muscular endurance. An exercise circuit is one completion of all prescribed exercises in the program. Weight training, an interval form of training. Intensity is measured in a percentage of the weight a person can lift one time and is known as % 1 rep max. Time is structured in reps and sets with specific timings for recovery between sets. Huge range of possible lifts combining machines, free weights and body weight exercises. Disadvantage. Many performers use poor technique while striving for an even heavier weight. Description. Weight training is a common type of strength training for developing the strength and size of skeletal muscles. It utilises the force of gravity in the form of weighted bars, dumbbells or weight stacks in order to oppose the force generated by muscle throughout constrict or instrict contraction. Plyometric training. High intensity exercise involving explosive movements. The muscle is lengthened, then rapidly shortened to develop the explosive capability of the muscle. Suitable for well-trained athletes, very effective for developing power. Disadvantage. Can cause injury if an athlete is not in excellent condition. Description. Plyometrics is a form of intense training that involves the use of a stretch and contraction sequence of a muscle fibre to generate great strength at high speed. With this type of training session, you will improve your overall power and explosiveness. Interval training is a type of training that involves a series of low to high intensity workouts with rest or relief periods. The high intensity periods are typically at or close to aerobic exercises, while the recovery periods involve of low intensity. Continuous training is a form of exercise that is performed at continuous intensity throughout and does not involve any rest periods. Continuous training typically involves aerobic endurance such as running, biking, swimming and rowing. Circuit training is a form of body conditioning, endurance training or resistance training using high intensity aerobics. It targets strength building and muscular endurance. The exercise circuit is one completion of all prescribed exercises in the program. Weight training is a common type of strength training for developing the strength size of skeletal muscles. It utilizes the force of gravity in the form of weighted bars, dumbbells or weight stacks in order to oppose the force generated by muscle through concentric or eccentric contraction. Plyometrics is a form of intense training that involves the use of a stretch and contraction sequence of a muscle fibers to generate this great strength at high speed. With this type of training session, you will improve your overall power and explosiveness. Control. Doing mental training exercises that will help you control your emotions and doubts can make the difference between success and failure. When poor emotional control affects an athlete's performance, it usually because they let their emotions affect their concentration. Confidence. Confidence is your ability to successfully complete a task and is an essential condition for recovery. Motivation. This is important for any area you want to optimize your performance in. It is especially important in sports. Think about the athletes who experience constant ups and downs, wins and losses. In their case, intrinsic motivation and love for what they do usually what help them recover after a bad pass, a terrible throw, or much lower score than they were expecting. Concentration. Athletes also need to have the ability to concentrate intensely. All action, even the most simple or intuitive ones, require concentration. A poorly executed move can result in a loss or injury. It can ruin months of preparation. That's why an athlete with mediocre training is not usually distracted. Doing mental training exercises that can help you control your emotions and doubts can make the difference between success and failure. When poor emotional control affects an athlete's performance, it usually because they let their emotions affect concentration. Confidence in your abilities to successfully complete a task is an essential condition for victory. This is important for any area you want to optimize your performance in. It is especially important in sports. Think of the athletes who's experienced constant ups and downs, wins and losses in their cases. intrinsic motivation and love for what they do is usually what helps them recover after a bad pass or terrible throw, or much lower score than they were expecting. Pardon me. Athletes also need to have the ability to concentrate intensely. All actions, even the most simple or intuitive ones, require concentration. A poorly executed move can relate in a loss or injury. It can ruin months of preparation. That's why an athlete with mediocre training is not usually distracted. Thank you very much.